testified
It's symbolic of Illinois.
about UFOs and aliens.
That's what I'm doing. Look at that pyramid in the middle if you use your imagination.
And outstanding questions from this hearing. A link to this video is in the description below. The star witness of the hearing was David Grush, who claims alien UFOs have crashed on Earth, and the government is in possession of both the alien craft and the alien bodies. In this video, we'll discuss the dubious characters connected to Grush and how they played a role in pushing UFOs all the way to Congress. Another red flag even before the hearing started, Mick, was the presence and involvement of George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, who sat front and center at the hearing, walked into the hearing like rock stars. In our reporting at the Post, we've gone into a lot of the claims of George Knapp, who is deeply, deeply, deeply invested in Skinwalker Ranch and the stories of Bigfoot and the stories of God knows what, with no evidence ever presented. Who admits there's no evidence? Is there any evidence?
Well, no, not really.
But despite that, writes books about it, claiming it's true. And these two folks, you've got Jeremy Corbell, a former yoga instructor turned apparently military expert, who's an expert on all of this all of a sudden. We learned that they met Grush, a long time ago.
Dave Grush approached us first.
At a Star Trek convention or something.
We actually did meet our Star Trek convention.
He came to the event. He heard our presentation. We spent some time together to talk about topics of mutual interest.
And then they met up at a UFO conference. And there's a photo of Grush sitting at a table with George Knapp, with Jay Stratton, with Travis Taylor. Those three deeply involved with Skinwalker Ranch, deeply involved with dubious claims of just the craziest stuff ever, and never presented any evidence. They're sitting right behind Grush, and then Burchett thanks them.
I want to thank everybody for making this happen today. I know I saw it in the crowd there, George Knapp, my buddy Jeremy Corbell.
What were your thoughts on that whole...
Ridiculous. That was ridiculous. And that was the big red flag. As soon as I saw the witnesses lined up, you had Graves, Grush, and Fravor, and right behind on either side of Grush, very, very visible, were George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell, who, as you know, have this very dubious history of inaccurate reporting of UFOs. And a great example of that was this recent case from 29 Palms, which was a video that was released by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. They said that there was this giant triangular craft the size of a football field that was hovering over this camp for a long period of time.
That went everywhere. That story went everywhere, all over the news as this triangle UFO, this spooky ship, this craft.
Question: what is the best e-commerce business to start today? Is it dropshipping from China and selling on Shopify? Long delivery time, low margins, and communication issues? Nope. Or, oh god, is it Amazon FBA?
For weeks.
Mystery in the sky. Do you see the 5 dots there on your screen?
Looks like a triangle seeming to hover over a base out at 29 Palms.
A triangular formation of light. Could this really be a mass UFO sighting? Joining us now is Jeremy Corbell.
Jeremy Corbell himself joins us right now.
Jeremy Corbell, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
And then it was almost immediately proved to be flares. What it actually was what a lot of people pointed out within minutes of the video being released was flares. Very common source of UFO sightings are military flares because they often drop them in patterns and they're quite large in the sky. They're spacing and they descend fairly slowly and stay there for a while. So we proved 100% exactly what these were, these flares. It really wasn't that hard to figure it out. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, they were the people responsible for leaking the green triangle video.
They called it, Knapp, Corbell. They're reporting it was flying pyramids.
Yeah, they said
I got a video of flying pyramids.
They were actually a bunch of things.
LA-based investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy, showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs.
UFOs are real, but they represent advanced and sophisticated technology.
Yes.
And then you, of course, proved without a doubt that the triangle shapes we see are actually due to the triangular shape of the camera's aperture. Basically, with a triangular aperture, anything that's out of focus would look like a triangle. You also proved without a doubt that most of the objects in the videos and
This
photos
news is
were
proving
actually
everything I'm
just
saying,
stars,
doing right now.
out of focus stars. But despite
It's
all of
crazy.
this, Corbell still claims, these were triangles, pyramids.
He tweeted, like, when I explained what it was, the aperture of the triangular aperture of the camera, I explained what it was, and he basically tweeted saying, basically, it's complete nonsense, it's a lie, it's a disinformation, the triangular aperture theory is just a big distraction from the reality of things, when in fact it was all 100% accurate. That's what actually happened, and as was confirmed
Look
by the
closely,
Pentagon.
you can see the rings
Triangular
on the
appearance
plane.
Is a result of light passing through
I've
light
been doing
dials
this.
and then being recorded by an SLR
I
camera.
got hundreds of
It's simply
photos
that light source
of the galaxy.
resolves itself through
Look,
through the night vision
come
goggles
in
onto the
clear.
SLR camera as a triangle.
But even that's an interesting thing. The Pentagon confirmed
Observation on galactic.
the people came up with because it was so obvious.
Yes,
But
man.
the Pentagon said they didn't figure it out for 2 years. And what's going on there? Who was actually looking into
And
it?
this what I
It's
meant.
the UAP task force at that time,
Right,
which
let
would
me
have been Jay
explain it.
Stratton and Travis Taylor. They couldn't figure it out for 2 years. This simple little optical thing. Travis Taylor, PhD in optics, couldn't figure it out. What's going on?
These are ancient alien
Distance.
stars. These are, authors of books about ghosts and werewolves. These are people who have been hawking the UFO and ghost and paranormal story for decades, who make a living off of this. Their life depends on everything being spooky. And they're not only in attendance, but we hear from congressional leaders, they're part of the process. They're influencing the leaders. They're submitting statements.
They're George Knapp, my buddy Jeremy Corbell.
Everywhere.
They're not witnesses, but they've provided some statements on this subject, and I seek unanimous
Okay.
consent to enter those statements.
Underground wires.
Chairman, without objection.
Okay.
Which is just baffling to me, because Jeremy Corbell has done nothing other than promote a narrative and
Let's just
release a whole
zoom
bunch of
in
really terrible UFO
where
videos
they're
that get
fitted.
almost immediately debunked. He's a very
Construction
good
had to
talker.
take place right there.
It's quite compelling if you
Add a
don't know
point.
the facts behind the case. But somehow he's managed to have this influence on the people in Congress.
After the UFO hearing ended, News Nation reported that Congressman Burchett originally had more than just 3
5.8
witnesses lined
miles
up to
across.
testify.
It's
On
constructed.
August
Look.
6th, Jeremy Corbell claimed that
It's
there were
big
5
distances.
congressional UFO witnesses,
But
and
then,
that
come
all
on.
5 were
See
in
right here.
attendance
I don't have
at the
to.
hearing.
I can't
So
do
who,
nothing when people talking
according
to
to
me ain't
Corbell,
being
were
mean,
the
but
other 2
that's what I
congressional
mean.
witnesses?
Look,
George
I have
Knapp
to do this by
and
myself or
himself.
like 2 people to keep me focused. You can see.
Right now on Morning News Now, Donald Trump is back on the trail.